to make sense out of everything. So give me a second. So okay, so lesson 1 went through in-depth explanation of what Forex entails. What else? Okay. Market structure, trend line, Fibonacci, candlestick analysis, understanding, and mastering buyers and sellers presence. So lesson 4, confluence, bringing it all together, EMA and SMA crosses. So we've talked about EMA and SMA cross. We've basically touched bringing it all together, where we try to, explain the idea behind, adding up all the trend lines, the Fibonacci, the candlestick, and, adding it all together to get the results desired. And basically that's confluence, right? So to finalize, which was the part I was supposed to have finalized the previous time, what I'll be looking at now will be executing trades, managing risk, and trading psychology. Okay. Now, first off, can everybody hear me? Because I know I have everybody muted. So if you can hear me, just type 1. 1. You don't need to talk, just type 1. Okay. So I'll be sure I'm not talking to myself. Okay, perfect, perfect. Sorry. Okay, basically everybody can hear me. Okay, perfect. So we are basically going to talk about trading psychology. One of the things that makes a trader, regardless of skill, is that you want to be that kind of trader that if a trade is going against you, you don't have to keep hoping and saying, it might turn back, it might not turn back. The moment you have that belief of taking in so much risk, you might lose everything you have. I'll give you a very good example. Let's say you start with God. The fact that I don't know where my mouse is practically killing me off. Not falling too long. So let's say you start your trading account with $200. I want to now show you, ideally how to manage your risk. Remember when I talked about micro lots, and I said micro lot is what? 0.01. That is going to be your lot size. Your lot size is the amount of risk you are willing to take in the market if it goes right or wrong against you. And we talked about what? Macro lot. And the macro lot we said is what? 0.1. And then after that, we talked about standard lot. And it says standard lot is what? 1.0. Okay, now, so how can this work for you and go against you? It is quite easy. I'm going to break this down because listen, this lesson is one of the most underrated lessons in Forex. But in real sense, without risk management or your education, every single thing you must have learned with this platform, it is basically a waste of time. Because even with me, sometimes in like 20% of cases, I always go against my risk. I will always tell you that, like, I go against my risk. But what actually saves my ass at the end is that when I do not use the proper risk I'm supposed to use, and the market has plenty fluctuations, what I do is that I try to close out some of those my trades. Let's say, okay, that is a bit complex for now. I'm going to touch that when I finish up with the basic part of risk management. So let's say in a $200 account, you have been practicing on your demo, practicing. Let me tell you, the moment your journey in Forex or your journey with me becomes a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, that means you must have been reading, studying. Now, when I mean reading, studying, I don't mean reading on topics unrelated to what I taught. I mean trying to master how I trade, because I have tried to filter off all the rubbish in the market, and I'm giving you something that works. So do not be the type of person that goes back I am now trying to learn new things. That is one thing I learned. You have to build on what you know, not building on what you do not know. Rule number one, work on what you know. So let's talk about risks now. As a beginner, just to know how you work. For me personally, on a $200 account, I'm going to talk about me and I'll tell you why it is me and why you have to do things as you. Okay? Now, on the $200 account, usually, what I usually trade on a $200 account is most times I trade on a 0.5. I'm going to now tell you the risk of trading on a 0.5 on a $200 account. Sometimes, depending on how my brain should touch, I can have open trades. When this 0.5 is now in profit, I can have another open trade again of 0.5. That means I am trading on a 1.0 as open trades on a $200 account. And I'm not going to tell you the risk in that. Now, $200 accounts, trading at 0.5 means that, now, first off, when I'm trading, my risk naturally in terms of pips is set at 20 pips. This is my risk. Now, what this means is that if the market for any reason, when I enter the trade, because I always enter my trade when the trade needs to be entered. So that means if my trade in any case gets to negative 20, outside this my risk, I have what you call maximal risk. My maximal risk, like the maximum risk I can take, no matter how I want to be patient, is 30 pips. This is where I know that, okay, Kene, you can now get out of this trade. Okay? Now, let me tell you the bad part of the risk now. If I'm trading if I'm using $200 and my risk is 0.5 and my pip risk is 20 pips, this automatically means that if the first trade I take goes against me, what I have lost out of this $200 is 0.5 times 20. That means on my first trade already, I've lost $100. So the general question I want to ask the class is this a good risk management? If in my trade, the first trade I've lost $100, that means my account balance is now $100. So if that is a very good risk management, type 1 for yes, and then 2 for no. Okay. If you know response from me, okay, perfect. Okay. Now we are getting somewhere now. We are getting somewhere. So let's do, this is in this case now, we've talked about case 1. This is case 1. Remember, the reason why I can comfortably explain everything to everybody is that based on my own trading style and based on my education, my level of risk is 30. That means if you get to do everything I am doing and you do it the exact way I'm doing, the market has no business in getting to negative 30 or negative 20. Anytime the market gets to negative 20 or negative 30, what that is telling you naturally is that something has happened in the market that is beyond your control. So what do? You pack your load and you run. Because the truth is that since I've been trading all my life, at least I know people in the trade room can attest to that, I have only had this stop loss, which is my risk. It has only been hit once since that trade room has been existing. In well over 30-something or 40-something attempts, I have only lost a trade officially hitting my stop loss once. So that tells you that my trading style is well over 99% or 95%. So why do you now want to die on a trade? Now that question is left for you to answer. You can always make your money anytime. So you don't have to kill yourself on one single trade and say, hey, no, let me keep adjusting it. Let me see whether at 40 is going to reverse. What that happens at the end is that when it doesn't reverse at negative 40, you might say, hey, let me see, negative 50. Before you know, your account balance has turned to what? $0. Does that make sense? I'm sure it makes perfect sense. Okay, so scenario 2. You are trading on a $200 account. Now I'm getting to the good risk now. Second scenario. You decide to be trading at 0.1. My risk is what? 30 pips. That means when this trade goes against you, it's 30. Okay? Now, I can tell you categorically that even before I started TradewithKene and started this platform, and even in my education when I was still trying to perfect my ways, I have never traded up to 10 times and have 3 trades go against me. So let's say you traded 10 times and 3 trades went against you, and then you've lost $90. Okay? And out of the remaining 7 goes for you. Most cases, my risk to reward is usually, if my risk is 30 pips, my reward in most cases will be like 50 pips, 60 pips, 60 pips, 50, 100, 120. So if you're having 50 pips as your reward, that means your reward is almost at 1.5. Times 2 is 60. So your reward is like 1.8. So let me give you that scenario now. So let's say your reward is 60 pips and your risk is 30 pips. Remember that this 30 pips is maximum risk. And even in the time I lost a trade in the house, my maximum risk was not 30. My maximum risk then was 20. I lost at 20 pips. In fact, I don't even allow my trade get to 30 pips. But there are some cases whereby if I look at the trade, depending on how far it's going to the negative, I know it's going to reverse because of candlestick analysis. I've now started seeing those things I want to see show. But if they are not showing any signs within my risk level, I am leaving. It means the market has been manipulated. And those who are going to stay there is going to swallow them. Listen, Forex is like a sinking sand. When you walk towards a sinking sand, if 100 people should run into it, it's going to take the whole 100. It has no time to be calculating the amount of people it has taken. If you give Forex $100,000 without sense, it is going to take $100,000. Say whether if you give Forex $100 with 0 sense, it's still going to take minus $100. I'm sure there are some old traders that can attest to this. I've attested to it. I gave Forex $1,000 when I started. He swallowed minus 600. And ever since he took this $600 from me, it has never tried it all his life. The last time he tried it, which was when my stop loss was hit at 20 pips, everybody in the trade room can attest that I made back 4 times this money within the same hour. I made it 2 hours after I lost that money. And that is what education does for you, right? Now, I'm not saying that you should always go on a revenge mission, but that will start working when, you start perfecting your ways. Now, that means in a $200 account, right? If I'm trading on 0.1 and I lose 3 trades, I've lost $90. If I win the remaining seven trades, I've won what? If my risk reward is 2, I've won what? I've won 7 times what? My reward in this case will be if my reward is 2, Abi, that means it will be 30 times 2, that's $60. So I've won 7 times 60. That is $420. So if I remove $90 from $420, how much is this? That means my net profit is what? $330. So the second question is that if my net profit is $330, how much have I made after 10 trades? My account is now back to what? $530. So to the house, is this a very good risk management? Yes, 1. 2, no. Okay, that makes sense. Everybody's following me properly. Okay, now let's even take this a step further. Now, on a $200 account, maybe I am very, very scared like Doris, because I know this is how Doris started. I like using Doris as a case study because she's one person that I know that I've been teaching way before I started TradewithKene. So she has always been following me up on my journey and stuff. So let's say somebody like Doris, who I know that, okay, prior to her using her live account, she's been practicing with her demo account of the amount she wanted to use. She was basically trading at 0.05. Now, if this trade goes against me at 30, remembering that this is what, how much am I making here? I am making, 0.1 is $10. Here I'm making 0.1 is $1. Here I'm making 5 cents? Okay, I'm making 50 cents. Okay, yeah, that's correct. I'm making $0.5 per pip regardless. So I'm making 50 cents per pip. So let's do this together. You're making 50 cents. Okay, so if you're going to lose 30 pips, how much are you going to lose? So that would be 0.5 times 30, if I'm not mistaken. Let me not even go and do math that will scatter my head now. So that means I'm going to lose what? $15. This is what I'm going to lose. So if I lose $15 3 times, I have only lost $45. So if my risk to reward ratio is 2 against 1, what that is telling me is that on each trade, I'll be making $60, right? Sorry, on each trade, I'll be making 60 pips. So if I calculate that as 0.05, that will give me $30. So 30 times 7, how much is that? $210. So that means after 10 trades, I am up $410. Now, believe you me, I say this without actually blabbing. The minimum you can take, see, you can do 10 trades comfortably. Emphasis on comfortably in one day. If you put your mind to it, when I mean 10 trades, I mean win or loss. You can do that comfortably in one day. And guess what? You can actually do that comfortably on one trade. That means if I'm buying USD JPY, as USD JPY is respecting me and giving those, those candle formations I'm seeing, I can open another entry. That means on a single trade, in fact, let me even talk about the general scale. On me, anytime I'm trading on a single trade, and it is giving me those results I want to see, I can open as much as, maximum I have open on that trade is like 3. Okay? So imagine if my risk to reward ratio is 1 to 2. That means automatically I've turned my risk to reward ratio to what? 1 to 6. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I was opening my entries when I was in profit. So that one doesn't sound as a risk anymore. So at the end of the day, rather than making $410, Kene would make $600 on just this one trade. That means on one single trade in one day, I have gotten my account $400 up, and somebody opens his mouth to tell me Forex is not blood money. I will try to understand that over time. Okay, so we have tried to, try to break down risk. Let's even say you decide to open an account with $100, because I believe everybody is not rich here. And I decide to be trading at 0.01. I want you to know this. For everybody that is profitable in Forex, there was a time when basically they were trading at very tiny lots. I remember trading at 0.01. So God who made me, I was always crying, because most times my profit at the end of the day might be like $3. But let's look at it critically. How many people make 1K in 1 hour? If you calculate 1K in 1 hour times 24, that's 24,000 naira in one day. 24 times 7, how much is that? Almost 200,000 naira in 1 week. But the problem is that we do not believe it. No, people really believe in the game of accumulating numbers. People just believe in, make I just make this money sharp. But as you are trying to make the money sharp, your money can also go sharp. You get what I'm trying to say? Don't always be bent on the positive side. Always look at the negative. If this negative happens, are you going to be comfortable with it? When I lost $600, I gave myself 1 week break. I wasn't comfortable with the amount of money I lost, because that was the highest money I've lost in a single day. And I said, Kene, you know what? Things have to change. I basically had to tell myself that things have to change. So you need to also be able to tell yourself that, because in Forex, you are trying to trade with money here. Remember, nobody actually guarantees you that you're going to make all the money in the world. They also tell you that, listen, you can also lose all that money at the blink of an eye. So your main target in Forex is to what? Emphasis. This is what I always preach about, to protect your money. This has always been the key. The absence of this means you are bloody ass wasting your time. You would always go from 0 to 100 and 100 to 0 within the twinkle of an eye. So if there's anything you don't understand on risk management, this should be your number one call. Protect your money at all costs. Do not be that trader that goes into a war zone and you don't even have weapons to fight. Everybody's carrying gun and you're carrying machete. Do you fight somebody holding gun with a machete? I believe it's not possible, right? So yeah, I have basically tried to clear risk management. If everybody is clear on risk management, I want you to type 1. And when I mean 1, I don't actually mean one. I mean like I want to see multiple ones if I killed risk management, like if that made a lot of sense. I like Etsy for some reason. That's good. Okay, John. Okay, perfect. So the second thing is the second thing I want to touch about today is basically trading psychology. Trading psych. Now, the thing about this trading psych is this is one of the most difficult things a trader has to cope with in life. I've been able to, through experience, I've been able to perfect it. Like I've been able to get myself to that level of perfection whereby this thing is basically, come. What's it? You want to put football? Where's the cartridge? Yes. Tell Kete to bring it from. Shiru, come. Come now. Come. Okay, anyway, so trading psychology is one thing that will be able to like perfect over time and stuff. So what really is trading psychology? Trading psychology is basically, sorry, give me 1 minute. Come to the bed, so I'll show you how to play. So if you want to put it, where's Chucky? So if you come here, you press this down, it comes up. Can you see it? Then this one, make sure that the arrow is showing, right? So you just press it down. You know how to control it. That's it. When you move your cartridge, always put it here. Take. Bring Chiru for me. Chiru, come. What happened again? I'll take. No. Look. I gotta play game. I'm coming. I'm in the class, eh? I'm coming. Okay, take it. Give Chunky. I've taught him. Just give him. He will teach you how to do that. I'm in a class. He could not remove. Hi, God. Sorry, I'm coming, guys. Let me put on the fan, please. Now, turn the switch. Turn it around. That switch there. Take. No one. Take. Yeah. Over to my room. I'll call you when I'm done. Okay, sorry, pele. So I'm going to basically talk about trading psychology. Yeah. So basically, I was saying that. So basically, trading psychology is one major part of forex that basically tests you like a lot. Now, what should be in your head anytime you are trading? Like, how should your mindset be? That is what trading psychology is all about. Now, forex is one major thing that actually teaches you to be patient more than your entire life has ever taught you. Like, I feel like forex has taught me to be more patient than my entire life has taught me. Forex has taught me to be more patient with life. Forex has taught me to be more patient with my friends, with my parents, with my siblings, with or every person that is in my life as well. My studies, you know, my education, because I'm always learning every day. So what that means, what trading psychology is basically trying to address is this. Now, if you basically set your risk at 20 pips, and let's say you are trading at 0.1, meaning that 20 pips means if you lose, you're going to lose $20. What that means is this. Never you close this trade except this your risk is hit. Because I'll give you an example. I called a trade on Thursday, and my risk was 20 pips. And guess what? The trade actually reversed at minus 18. It tells you a lot, because your risk, that level of risk is a risk for a reason. It means that until that my risk is actually taken out, the moment that risk goes out, that's when I say, okay, I give up on this trade. That is basically trading psychology. It means that regardless of you seeing your money going against you, okay, what I mean by 20 pips risk is that your stop loss, which is basically what you set to take you out of the trade at 20 pips, immediately that stop loss is hit and that trade cancels out. It means that Kenechukwu has accepted defeat. You know, and believe me, when that my trade was going to close to 20 pips at 18, I had this temptation. In fact, I was because I'm not used to losing. Let me even just say that. Like, I'm not somebody that takes, if I lose a trade, do you know the first thing I do? I'll tell you the first thing I do. Anytime I lose a trade, before I enter another trade, I'm a very, very crazy human being, but I will let you know. When I lose a trade, you know, sorry. Just hold on. I'm trying to check. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, just as my mouse is not here, I'm not just comfortable. Okay, so if I lose a trade, the first thing I do before I enter any other trade is that first off, I take a deep, oh my God. I'm coming. Hello? Adeochine, how far now? You're what? You're waiting. Which can be that, Bigo? I better send to me, Mercy. Nah lie. Send to me. Send, ma tell him. They go downstairs, don't worry, I'll tell her she will call you. Hold on. I'll call you at day class. Yeah. Hi, hello. Hi. Can you guys hear me? Please, if you can hear me, unmute and talk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I have an emergency about 3 minutes. Okay, let me just deliver the message downstairs. Hi guys, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay, sorry. Today has been like one of the sweetest days of my life, but We'll give God all the glory. Oh God. Hello, sis. Yeah. I don't tell her. I don't tell her. Man, give her a food. Mommy. Okay, so can you guys hear me here? I guess this is like my final distraction. Okay, so I was talking about trading psychology, and I basically sorry, if your mic is on, please mute. Yeah, I basically talked about the fact that until that's your negative value is achieved and trade hits your stop loss, you have no business. Like you have no business whatsoever being in that trade. Fine. I've had cases where I'm trading and I'm in the trade room and I'll be like, hey guys, please adjust your stop loss to so. Experience makes me do that. And what makes me do that is when I see the way the candles are forming. You get what I'm trying to say? So most times I adjust my stop loss. But for the sake of God, you are just starting. Your first level of, like, I want you to discover those methods by yourself using your demo account for you to see how those candles are like showing signs that it wants to leave. Because this is what your demo account will teach you. I can teach you 99.99% of everything, but 100% of what makes you better is the personal effort you put. I cannot tell you everything. I can tell you everything, but without you practicing, it becomes nothing. You get what I'm trying to say? So trading psychology is basically telling you that, listen, always respect your risk. Always respect, your stop losses, okay? Now, the second thing trading psychology is going to teach you is, another thing is, number one, never over leverage. Like never over leverage basically means do not put in a risk that is too much for you to carry, okay? Because it can affect your trading psychology. It can make you always make decisions that do not go with your education. And then one of the other things trading psychology is going to teach you is this. When eventually you want to start trading with a live account, do not be that person that will go and meet, hey, please, can you borrow me money? You collect money and say, I've seen where money used to come from. Oh, let me see whether I'm going to make this money and pay you back. Listen, you are going to be in a hurry to make back that money, and it's not going to affect you. It's not going to help your learning. Okay? So listen, there is no limitation to Forex. Believe me, if you stick to the education and you start an account with $50, I tell you to this, and God be my witness, and you grow it at 0.01. Yes, everybody will say yes, it's quite small, it takes time. But I believe in compounding. Like if you're growing at $4, $5, $6, $4, $10, let's calculate this to 10. At the end of the day, if you compound all this together, it might give you 70 something. And what will you notice? This your account is up to 120. So always believe in compounding. See, any money you have is good enough, but always start with what? Money you are comfortable using. Do not bring all your money in Forex and say it's making money here. Or they give you money, maybe salary or something of 100K. You carry 90K and come into Forex. Please, always come into this Forex with half of any money you are coming in. Meaning that it is money that you are comfortable to lose. That is the only way your psychology can be right. Because if you come into here with that mentality of, I want to make all the money at once, you will lose all the money before I blink my eye completely. Because listen, if it is easy, like I said, everybody will be in it, fine. You are getting the education. Most people are not even privileged to get the education. Let's even start with that. But now, you have to work on yourself consistently to perfect a lot of things. Okay, so this is one of the things I wanted to teach. Okay, so from there, I've been able to, buttress my point completely on trading psychology. Now, I've talked about EMA and SMA crossing. I've talked about bringing it all together in lesson 4. I've talked about confluence. I've talked about managing risk and trading psychology. And then the last part of the class, which is executing trades, is something that I've basically taught everybody. How can I, let me see what I can, how can I do this now?
Have you talked about confluence?
Yeah, confluence is just basically bringing it all together. It's still the same thing. Confluence is telling you that if you are trading, you should always, before you take any trade, make sure that your trend line, your candlestick, your EMA and SMA cross, that basically all those things confirm your entries. That is confluence. Confluence is double or triple confirmation. You get what I'm trying to say?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's basically what confluence means. So what should I open up for you guys now? Okay, I always try to end my class with